All right, guys, if you want to create more speed with less effort, I suggest you watch this video all the way to the end. A lot of you struggling with speed and accuracy at the same time. It's one thing hitting it a long way and offline. It's a lot worse to be hitting it short and offline. And we're going to address that today. But before we get started, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. And there's a little bell button right next door. Click on that. You'll get a notification every time I release a new video. So a lot of misconceptions out there. I really want to kind of dive into a very simple concept today. I want to discuss to you the importance of using the hands and arms in the golf swing. It's not to say you don't use your body. There's a kinematic sequence to the golf swing, and there's no question that we need to engage that in the correct order. I want to put that up front and help you understand that. But most of you are using your bodies too soon in the transition. Recreational golfers that struggle with speed tend to use their upper body too early. In other words, they enter what's called the spin phase too soon. They turn their upper body back towards the golf ball. The club gets trapped behind them. The body has to stall. They finish the swing with the hands and arms and complain, of course, that they feel like they're using their arms too much, when in actual fact, they have to use their arms too much because their body is way out in front of their arms, guys. So they finish the swing over here. The challenge they've got is obviously they're out of sequence. And for you better players driving in the fast lane that hit the ball a long way, you tend to get your lower body out in front of your arms. You know who you are. You tend to glide too much, okay? The upper body very often stays back too long, okay, which creates some really powerful angles back here, and the arms are often dropping, but then we're stuck and then we're having to throw the club out. A little bit like a boomerang. So we've got tons of speed, a high rate of closure, but we don't have a lot of control. But in both cases, whether you're slow or whether you're fast, a lot of the time those body segments are moving out in front of the arms, and that's what I want to discuss today. So we've got a two-lane highway. Just to let you know, you should never have to subscribe to any method of coaching. There are so many different body types, strength, weaknesses. Some people can't transfer energy and speed kinematically from the ground to their hands. How do we work with those guys? You're going to say you need to start with your lower body and get your hips open and right side bend to someone that's got back issues or hip issues. That doesn't work. My job as a coach is to try and meet you where you are. I understand a lot of you coming from different positions with your golf games, but ultimately we've got two-lane highway. We have the slow lane, which is really congested, and we've got the fast lane with all the high-speed elite golfers that are hitting it miles, maybe struggling with some control, but they've learned to articulate their wrists and get their arms swinging a lot faster. The linear and angular forces in the golf swing that are created with the hands and arms, they've learned to engage those, and they might want to use their body a little bit more effectively to support their hands and their arms, okay? And then you've got the slow lane, everyone using their body too much early in the downswing. There's a lot of tension in the hands and the arms, no linear or angular speed. And with those guys, what we've got to do is we've got to slow the body down in the transition and get the hands and arms more engaged. So you can see here, completely different, guys. Our objective is to get those cars back on the road, but the lessons are very different. You're working with elite golfers at high speed, and you're working with slicers and short hitters. They are not getting the same golf lesson. Seeing as the right lane is the more congested lane, the slow lane, that's where we're going to go today. So ultimately what we want to do here is we want to understand how we can speed the club head up. How do we get energy into the club head? And there are certain forces that we need to apply that are going to help us do that. The arms essentially need to move a lot faster. Good golfers bring their arms down at a far faster rate than recreational golfers. Recreational golfers tend to sort of tie their arms to their body, and then they attempt to kind of spin their way to more speed. There's no energy being transferred to the club head. Whereas really good golfers, they tend to keep their backs to the target. They have a little bit of a glide phase, and they get their arms down in front of them. So they're creating actually a lot of speed early in the transition. They are not dumping the golf club. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that they tend to move their arms a lot faster in relation to the rotational forces that are applied through the ball with their body. So their arms are dropping as their body starts to turn, and that's what keeps them in sequence. So while body strength is important, obviously if you've got strong legs, you've seen these guys working out, it's a force multiplier. You're able to multiply the linear and angular forces you create with your arms and your hands and use your body and just turn the volume up on your speed and have ridiculous amounts of club head speed. But as I had said to you before, the guys that are working on that have already learned how to use their hands and arms. They can do this. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do very little with my body, but just kind of swing my hands and my arms. Okay, so you see my finished position was about here. My belt buckle wasn't facing the target. I didn't get my right shoulder through the shot. All the things you've been told to create clubhead speed, right? Fire the right side, get off your back foot. And then we've got like a 175, maybe 187 iron here, okay? And I didn't even turn my body through the shot there. I just basically stalled my body, and I got my hands and arms swinging a lot faster. And that's the result. I got a lot of clubhead speed. I know a lot of you guys would love to hit little powder draws, a $175 out there with a 7 iron, and I didn't even rotate my body. How about that? So you can see there, obviously my arms are moving a lot faster, and my body is essentially stalling. And that's what I want to help you understand. I take my strength, my body, and what I do is I take 25% of that strength when I play golf, and I put it in my back pocket, and I kind of leave it there. That's kind of my thought process for my golf game, because I have a tendency to drive my lower body a little too early, and that club gets stuck behind me. And then I'm all sorts of trouble at impact there, trying to get the club face squared up. Makes it very, very difficult. So I have a feeling when I swing a golf club, and it's a feel, remember the feel and the reel, but I have a feeling that my hands and arms are basically getting to the ball before my body is. It's just a feeling, guys, but it's a very, very powerful one. Gosh, over 25,000 golf lessons. I don't know in slow motion I've ever filmed a golfer that went to the top of their backswing and actually looked like this, with their body facing backwards. It just never happens, okay? Why? Because the body wants to move which way? That way. Okay? So the feeling of moving your arms faster has got very, very little to do with hanging back on the trail leg and batting at it with your hands and the arms. That's the irony behind the whole thing. What you're going to find is your arms are going to drop, your body's going to turn, and you're going to be in a much better sequence because your arms are no longer behind you. They're actually down in front of you. And my goodness, when they are, it makes a world of difference. So I hope that helps you understand what we're trying to feel here. We want to get those hands and arms working down, stall the upper body. I'm going to keep my chest facing you guys. My arms control the verticals in the golf swing like an elevator in a building. My arms work up, my arms work down. And then I start to rotate my body. And now look at the golf club. It's out in front of my body. The butt end of the club starting to move towards me. My club head starting to move away from me. And then I'm finding this awesome impact position. Everything lined up here at impact. Boom. This is so misleading, guys. That impact position you see is not a position at all. It's misleading. It's not teaching you or telling you how people got to that position. And it's also not showing you where they sent their speed. All right? It's just a picture. It doesn't really tell the story. So ultimately, all these guys, they've got the butt end of the club working towards them, and they've got the club head working out in front of them, just like this. None of these guys are dragging the handle way forward. All right? That's just not how it's happening. If you do that, you're not transferring speed to the club head. I will guarantee it, okay? The faster you can move your golf club from this direction to this direction through the golf ball, the further you're going to hit it. So the last thing you need to be doing through a golf ball, just watch my left arm as if it doesn't stabilize, is this. That is a nightmare, and I see it all day long. 90% of the golfers I see in this position, they were here early. You're here early, your body has to stall, you'll straighten up, and then you're going to be here late, okay? Golfers that are in this position, their heads behind the golf ball, okay? Their upper body was patient, their arms dropped down in front of them, and all of a sudden we're in a position here where we can start to release the golf club and essentially deliver the message with our hands and our arms. But if you've got permission, you're a high-speed guy that's got a stronger grip, you already hit it miles, it might serve you well to get a lot more open and stabilize the club face. I totally get it, and I appreciate where these guys are coming from, these coaches, okay? But be careful that it's the right fit for you, because not everyone has to do that. I can assure you that is absolutely not the case, and that's what I'm here to help you with. I want to try and save you some trips to the chiropractor. How about that? So let's go ahead and do that one more time. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to allow my arms to sort of employ my body. So basically, I'm going to get the feeling that my arms are extending past the golf ball. My head stays back. My hands and arms swing past my chin. In many respects, most people, their head's coming forward. You can see that my upper body's getting to the ball way too early. The club head's getting to the ball way too late. And then I've got to get out of my own way in order to save it. And there we are in that awful position you see at impact. So what I'm feeling here is I'm feeling my arms swinging faster. When I hit it further, I'm going to move my arms faster. I'm not going to move my body faster. All right? You got to be able to get this feeling here. Can you see what I'm doing? Without tying them together and doing this. I can move this independently of this. All right? Is my body turning? Watch. Of course my body's turning. All right? But at some point, the body has to stabilize, and then that energy gets transferred through here, and that's the release that I'm looking for. Bazooka. Here we go. That's a 7-iron. And I'm 52 years old, so. All right, so same thing, but this time I'm going to put my feet together. Hinge, unhinge, rehinge. Linear speed, angular speed, okay? Arms, wrists, body. Feels versus reals. This is someone trying to start down with their arms. You ready? Watch. See that? This is the person that started down with their arms. Look at my lower body. I've seen it all day long. Is that someone that's really starting down with their arms? It's not, is it? Okay, feet together. Feels versus reals. This is going to be a monster hitchhiker drill. Let's see if we can get it done. All right, let's have a look. Well, there you see. I mean, it's 170 yards, 180 with roll, with my feet together. All right? It's doable. Look, feet together. One more time. This way. There's my release. Face on. There's my release. Look. Look at my body. I'm still facing you. Here it is. Okay, and then allow my body to go ahead and respond to my arms a little bit more. Let's get you out of the slow lane, guys. Move the arms faster. That one, just for you, I literally kept my legs so quiet that I'm still facing forward. I didn't even rotate my body. All right. Well, there you go. Very little effort there, a lot of speed. I've taken my body motion, I'm sticking it in my back pocket. Now, let's see what happens when I integrate my body. I'm going to allow my body now. Now I've swung my arms really freely. I'm going to go ahead and employ my body right down in here. Right down in here, I'm going to start to employ my body. I'm going to push off my back foot. I don't want to be up on my toe here when the club's halfway through. I don't want to be on my back foot when the club's all the way through. Those are two extremes. My club's halfway through, I'll be halfway off my back foot. 3/4, I'll be 3/4 off my back foot. Club's above my head, I'm going to finish up on my toe. So, you know, everything has its sort of purpose here in terms of sequencing, right? See if I can get this whole body moving a little bit here and do exactly the same thing, have a little bit of fun. All right, that felt pretty solid. Not bad. There you go. All right, I'm happy with that. See if I can turn it over. A little draw. I'm going to go a little bit more to the right. Feel a little bit more rotation in my forearms. Again, stall my body, guys. Stall your body. That one's turning over. See the difference? To slow the body down, sped my arms up. I got a little bit more of a draw. You go ahead and cut the ball. You're going to be more open. Use your body more. You're going to have less forearm rotation. Typically, a cut fade is going to go a little shorter than a draw, just for that reason. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's right. But obviously, if I can hit a draw, and I recommend all of you guys struggling with speed to try and hit the ball a little more right to left, you're going to hit it further. Pretty good. Quite happy with that one. Let's have a look at it. Kind of fun to hit some golf balls. I don't think I've hit as many balls in a video before. That's kind of where we're at. That's kind of my stock 7-iron. It's really between 170 and 175. I mean, obviously I like to move it both ways when I play golf, but I just love that draw feeling. I love hitting it from right to left. I just feel so much more freedom in my forearms. If I start to hook the ball, for you better golfers out there, I just basically walk around the circle to the left and I'll start hitting some fades, right? It slows down the rate of closure. It gets my body moving a little faster and it slows the arms down, right? So I'm going to take some of that strength that I had in my back pocket, move it out, and perhaps use my body a little bit more. Okay, so it's just this little balancing game, this harmonious game here between the swinging motion of the hands and arms and the pivoting motion of the body. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of fun doing this video today. Go ahead and like and share the video if you think it can help any of your friends. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun playing golf this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.